Okay, back now. I've done the dry brushing. I've just dabbed on all the colours. They're not authentic, but that's what an artist can do. You can do it any colour you want. So now I'm going to do this background. I'm doing it a different way. On a larger area, the dry brushing is not very good because you just keep moving it and you leave blank spots. So I'm going to mix the colour with the resin and just pour it on. Doesn't matter if it goes over these edges because it's still going to be having black over the top. And just be careful not to sneeze or breathe too heavy on these parts because the powder is just sitting on there. These are the colours that I'll be selling at the end of the month, January 24. And I'm just waiting on packaging and pricing for overseas posting. I'm trying to keep the price down so that it's not too expensive because these are pretty expensive to begin with. But if I can sort of keep the price down, I'm sure that you guys would like to share these colours with me as well, and I like to share them. But they're so fantastic, and it's like these videos won't do them any justice. Like in person, they're great, but I'll carry on. I've got some powders to mix with the resin, and then I can just do these little pours, and then we just let it to cure, and then we top it off with black either later tonight because it's in the morning here at the moment. I've got to go to work and cook for a lot of people. I'm a chef, and hopefully after work tonight I can pour the black, and then in the morning I can unveil it, which I can't wait to see what this looks like because I've just done coasters in these little round ones. Which then have turned into these. That's just a plain coloured one. And also these ones as well. They're really interesting. There's been a colour shift in there too. I'll show you these as well. These are really cool. I've done these in coaster size. And in the larger size. In the really large one as well. I can't get my camera back far enough. But yeah, these are the huge ones. It actually looks like the moon, which looks really cool. But I'll show you these in future. But for right now, I'm just mixing in some of these blues to act as a background, a sky maybe, or just a background of another colour. But I'm actually mixing it with it. I didn't want to do any mixing videos. I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to mix resin. This resin actually that I'm using at the moment, it's okay, but it sets up way too quickly for this method, so I've had to adjust a few things. The resin that I was using can't get any more, and it was actually a faulty resin, so I don't trust it. And resin's not cheap, so I'm just trying some different ones. But this was okay, but I've found another supplier, and I'm yet to try that resin yet. But so far so good. But this one here I've nearly finished with, and I get to try the other one once this one's finished. I don't like to have too many open all at once. But this is nicely mixed, and I'm just going to be pouring it into like parts of it, so I can go a little bit here. And it actually doesn't need much. I've probably got too much in this cup, because I actually don't want it to go over the outside edge if I can help it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've mixed way too much, but that's okay. I've done countertops as well with this resin, not this resin, but these mica powders, and at work my counter, I really should post some photos of that as well. But that turned out so cool. It was just a beach scene and a bit of ocean. I work on the ocean, which is really good. Well, on the coast of the ocean. I run a kitchen out of a yacht club, and we're just right on the beach, which is great. And so it was fitting to have an ocean themed counter, so I made one of them. If you're interested in watching me make one, please feel free to ask, and I'll make a plan. Get that little bit of resin off. Doesn't matter if I go over this line, because this is all done back to front. It's done upside down, so when I flip it, you're going to see the line on the other side. So yeah, I've actually mixed way too much resin here, so I might just do a little bit through here. And it doesn't matter if you go over the lines, it's all going to be different shades of blue, and then it's all leveled off with the black. I do have to move that because I don't want it going over the outside edge. Our resin does bead up and dome, so you're pretty safe until it touches. Then it might move a little bit more, but so far it's playing nicely. If it goes over the edges of these colour parts, it's fine. At least it'll hold that mica in place. But that's all fine. I'm happy with that. Got a little bit on this side. But yes, I'm in Australia, so it's pretty hot over here at the moment. So this resin does actually set up very quickly. Although I'm going to have so much resin left over, I'm probably going to have to pour into some molds and do a little bit of quick thinking of what do I do with the spare resin. But it's fine, I've got all kinds of molds I can pour it into. But yeah, my daughter's helping me put these videos up. So yeah, she's told me to say like, subscribe. If there's anything you'd like to see, let me know. Way too much. So I'll put that aside for now, and I'll mix another colour. Well, another blue anyway. This one's a bit of an electric blue. Another really good colour. They all look very similar, but there are slight differences in the way it catches the light. It's just something else. This resin is getting warm, so I've really got to speed up a little bit. I like to mix little bits at a time. That's why I went to dry brushing, because the little bits, the resin just sets too quickly. I did try UV resin doing this method, not so good, because the light was a bit hard passing through the depth of the resin itself once you add a colour to it. So, and then dry brushing it didn't work out so well. There was a method where I was doing droplets of the UV resin, just the clear, and then putting it in the bottom of, to get this effect. These were droplets of UV resin, and then I would put them in to the silicone mold, and then I would dry brush the whole lot and pour a colour over the top and then pour over black. I will show that method, because there's a little bit of preparation involved in that one. But other than that, it's all fine. Okay, so this I'm putting at the top part here. So this is just a larger area. Hopefully the resin will form its own little wall. And if not, it doesn't really matter too much. If there's a bit of blending, it adds to it, I think. Sometimes even mistakes, they just give it a bit of character. But yeah, and then the swirling of the resin and the powder is really, really cool. So you just got to be careful with some of these pointy parts. You want to get in there, but you don't want to drag any of the powder away. And you can get a toothpick in there, just as long as the resin moves about, you're fine. It's just all starting to slow down, so I've got to speed this up a little bit. So I hope this is not boring for you. It's a bit tedious watching somebody else do something and blabber on and try and find some sort of conversation. Normally I work in silence, so I guess it's just a type of madness, talking to myself, pretending that someone is watching. Although no one is, because this is not live. That's another step, but I'm not quite ready for the live yet. Maybe one day. So that's that. I think I might just go a bit more at the top here. I'm actually going to go over the edge there. See, that I just got a bit carried away there. As long as you don't smear, you're pretty safe. That's that too. I've got one more colour to mix, and then I've got to get this resin used. Otherwise it's going to set up in the cup. I don't want that. But yeah, I've got stacks. It's way too much. So I'll just go with that one for now. This will all level out, so it's a good thing. It'll move its way, so is more of an aqua sort of colour. Turquoisey. Teal. I'm not really too sure. I would say blue-green. Colours have so many different names. Wow, this is really warm. So this is all just going to set up on me, I think. So I better get a leg up and get this poured. I'm pouring over everything because I've got a lot of resin, and this will still act like the black does. It'll cover up and keep everything in place. This is the last colour, so it doesn't matter that I'm going over the lines a little bit, as long as I remember where everything is. No, don't do that. Got the great colours. Put a bit more blue in here. And you can mix them about a little bit, which is fine. And they can even be swirled about. It's really up to you. Oh, found a hair right in here. Well, I do need to get that out. Worst thing is now I've actually lost the hair. Whoops. Oh, this was a bit of an experiment anyway. I might be able to find it, but I think it's lost forever now. Hopefully it won't show up and it just is lodged deep in the resin. Neither are the front or the back. Then get into your corners. Just use a toothpick to let the resin get there. I think it's in most places now. And then just you can swirl things about. So the resin has gone all the way into these edges, which is what I wasn't supposed to do. So I might as well just keep going with that and let it fill it. Not totally fill it, but fill it enough to fall in there, that's fine. I'm actually going to go over the whole lot now because I've got a lot of resin still left over to use up and I don't want it curing on me in these cups. Yeah, might as well. Might as well go there. all about the art. Things happen, you got to go with it because you have a plan and stick to it as best you can. But if something changes, you have to adapt. And sometimes it's for the better, sometimes you just learn and not to make that kind of mistake again. Could be a good mistake or a bad mistake, really. This wasn't so bad. I was hoping to have the black frame on the outside. Once I pour the black over, it would sink in that section, but because it didn't, it's not such a big deal. I'll just know for next time to go easy on the resin. But it is a lot of fun though. I've been working with resin now for about 9 years, and it's been a great learning curve. I've learned so much. I just love the idea of working with the resin. Like, I worked with a blowtorch, spray paint, and that's all I started with, and it was really, really cool. I liked doing it, and it was very free form, and yeah, some of the results I've got have been great. Sold a couple of pieces, but not really very much. I do it because I like doing it in my art room. I will show a video of my art room, but my art room is so full, it's crazy. Just going to cover the rest of this now with these leftover resin, and then let it cure, and then hopefully won't ruin it too much. Can't believe I did that. That wasn't the plan to go over all the coloured bits, but now that it's started, I'm just going to go with it and pour over the rest. All the loose bits of mica will actually float to the top, and then hopefully some will stay down. But do not try and spread it, because you're going to end up moving the mica powder. So just let the resin flow, and it'll get in the places that you need it to get to. Yeah, just mix some of the blue with the green, and we got a Blaine. Little dabble in there. Like, I can pick this up now and let the resin move about. So we've got a bit of spare resin. I'm playing with some holographic mica now as well, so I can use it for a mold I've just dusted. Just got to get everything off this board and just let it move about. Still a few little honey gaps. But I can put this there to cover it. I'm sure the end result's going to be really good. I've got some air bubbles here. Everything is all covered. That's fine. I'll just go around with a toothpick on the edges. Burst some of these bubbles. Like, I don't get too worried about bubbles because the colours there, it does cover. It's not supposed to be crystal clear, and sometimes it adds to it, but I do still spray with the isopropyl alcohol. But I don't put a flame to it because it can melt the resin, and I wasted a few coasters by doing that, and they stuck, and then they tore the silicone and ruined them, and I had like 6 molds ruined, so I was pretty annoyed about that. So I swore on, when you're molding, just use the isopropyl alcohol, spray it over, it gets rid of most of the bubbles, but don't do a flame. If you're doing a bench top or something with no silicone involved, go for it. Use a blowtorch, little torch, whatever. I like to use these big guys here, which are great, especially when you're working on a really big piece. Yeah, even this looks pretty good, but this is not the result. So I've got now to let this cure, then pour black over. I probably don't need to, but I will probably pour black over later on tonight, and then come back tomorrow and unveil it, and hopefully this little bit of a mistake that happened will be actually okay. So you get to see this as well as I do, and then learn from my mistake or adopt the mistake. But that's all for now. Like, comment, subscribe. There, my daughter will be happy about that one. Cheers.